This video will focus on the problem type where I'm given mole and asked about gram. So a mole to gram stoichiometric problem. I can tell this problem is mole to gram because I'm given a number of moles and asking me to stop in grams. We do these problems the same every time. We write down the number that is given to me with the label as well as the chemical identity. So this is just copper, which means it is this part of my equation. Now I'm going to multiply and create my first conversion factor. And again, given that I'm in mole of copper, that is the label that will come down to the bottom. Now, unlike a gram to mole problem where I'm starting a gram, which means I have to get to the mole in order to use the mole ratio, for a mole problem, I'm already in mole, which means my very first step can be stoichiometry. So the very first thing I can do is my mole ratio, which is what stoich is, and that allows me to convert to the new compound that the question is asking me about. Now the numbers for a mole ratio are always the coefficients in the problem. So copper would be the 6 and aluminum sulfate is just a 1. So that is what I'd fill into my parentheses. Now I'm not done with this problem because I do want to end in grams. So I am going to set up one more conversion factor that allows me to go from mole to gram. Given the fact that I set this up so my moles of copper canceled, my new label that's going on the bottom, because this is what I'm in, is moles of aluminum sulfate. On top then can be grams of aluminum sulfate because that's what I'm solving for. And anytime I have a gram to mole relationship, that is what molar mass is defined to be. So molar mass is always how many from the periodic table I have for my compound per 1 mole. I've already calculated that for you up top, so 342.132, and that is this problem. So this is only a 2-step problem because I already gave you mole, so you don't have to molar mass first. In my calculator, I'd be typing 2.09 divided by 6 times 342.132. And that would be the answer. So I'm ignoring the ones as always. So in my calculator, I end up getting the answer 119.176. Given the fact that my given number only has 3 sig figs, I'm going to round my final answer to just 3 sig figs, label it grams, and also what substance I am measuring. In general, then, when I'm starting with a number that's in moles, I'm always going to follow the same steps. The mole will then end up being on the bottom, so mole of whatever I'm measuring is going to go on bottom, and then mole of whatever I want to solve for will be on top. These numbers will then be the coefficients given to me for my balanced equation. And then the second and last step for this type of problem, if I'm ending in gram, is to go from the mole I'm in to gram of the substance that's being measured. So that'll get me through from start to finish. That gram to mole is always molar mass. So you will get the number that goes by the gram from the periodic table. This is your example on how to do a mole to gram problem.